Yeah, it has been a long time. Well, I was working on a Christmas album with actually my dad's church, and me and my buddy were in the studio, and I was just kind of overseeing it all, not really taking a huge part in it, and we were both kind of playing around with this song. It's always been one of my favorites, and we both came up with an arrangement that we kind of thought was fresh and cool, and it was around November, so it was kind of cutting it really close. Usually you should get your Christmas stuff done by September, but it was around mid-November, and we were just like, I just loved it so much. I was like, I just got to get this thing out. I loved it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Actually, the original plan was to release a song at the end of November, but whenever this came out, when we kind of got the idea for I'll Be Home for Christmas, I thought, okay, let's just put this out for Christmas and save this for 2016. So, yeah, there's definitely new original music coming in 2016, and I'm excited about it. Well, I think every time I sing, I kind of get compared to Buble, that kind of style, and I'm definitely not running away from that. But I definitely want to be myself as well, and so trying to make it a little bit younger, a little bit different than what he's doing, but definitely influenced by Sinatra and that whole gang. So it's gonna be young, it's gonna be fresh, new takes on that kind of stuff. Not really, man. Definitely rooting for her always. I'm a huge fan of her. She was the sweetest when we were on the show and so encouraging. And even after the show, we had a couple talks where she just really encouraged me to continue on. And so that meant a lot to me, her being one of my heroes, growing up vocally. I just remember her spunk, man. She loved singing. She loved performing, and that really shined through when she was coaching me, and it inspired me. She made it fun, and she knew what she was talking about. She was a showman or showwoman, I guess. She gave me so many tips on just how to make a moment last, how to make a moment worth it, and really just kill a song. So I'm really grateful for that. Yeah, well, I'm a pastor's kid, so grew up in church. I feel like that's a lot of singer stories. Just grew up in church and just got thrown up on stage at a really young age. Also, my mom would write. This is kind of embarrassing, but she would write children's songs. So before I was even born, my brothers and sisters were in the studio singing basically like Christian Barney. So from the time I was born, I've got recordings of me weeks after I was born, kind of just screaming into the mic while my brothers sing. So it was like funny stuff, man. Just kind of was thrown into it, but really grew to love it from a very young age. And, even in kindergarten, K4, it was never, I want to be a fireman or football player or anything. It was always just singer, man, singer, singer. It's songs like, well, I mean, I guess that would work for even non-Christian, but it was like, I won't yell at you, please don't yell at me was one of the songs, and I'm allergic to griping, and it's not fun if it's not fun for everybody. Growing up, I was one of six kids. I'm one of seven now, and so my mom would just write songs whenever she would get frustrated with us. So. Well, my sophomore year of high school, I knew I wanted to try and go to an Ivy League school. It just was a world that kind of it was alluring to me being from Louisiana. It just seemed
Yeah.
like a different world, and I knew football could help me get there, or at least my coach told me it could. So worked really hard and got recruited by Yale and showed up, and it was a dream come true. I loved it. So many different types of people. You know, um, you could walk across the hall and find a whole new friend group that had no interests that were anything like your last one. So I liked that. But I got a call to through a string of events. I ended up with a manager and an agent, and one summer in between freshman and sophomore year, and then I got a call during football camp, actually right before my junior year, to come be a part of this show called The Voice. I'd never heard of it. They had one season, and it had a lot of success. And this second season, was kind of being pitched as like the Kelly Clarkson season. Like this is going to be the first big winner that everyone sees win, and it's going to make this is going to be the biggest season ever. And so I auditioned, sent in audition tapes, then came out to California. I had hair down to my shoulder, cut it all off, and went into the audition, man, and then got a call back. And I remember I came in to talk to my dean, and she said, I was in Trumbull. So she was real sweet, and she just said, I think you should take this opportunity, or else you're gonna always think, what if? And so I took one of my semesters. You get 2 semesters off. I took one of my semesters then, and packed my bag and moved straight to California and lived on a friend's couch for 2 weeks before the whole audition process really started.